For now, we're heading over to our press conference.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as ever, a reminder about mobile phones. Either switch them off or onto silent mode. Thank you very much. Right, okay, welcome to Aragon then, round 14 of the MotoGP World Championship, the Michelin Grand Prix of Aragon. Joining us today ahead of his 200th Grand Prix, World Championship leader Marc Marquez, a winner here at his home Grand Prix in the Premier class 4 times, and victorious, of course, last time out in Misano. Second in the championship, Andrea Dovizioso, 6th in Misano, and 2nd here at this circuit last year. Alex Rins is also with us, another home rider, 4th in Aragon last year and the 2013 Moto3 race winner at this circuit. 3rd in Misano and 5th overall, a home race also for Maverick Viñales, the 2014 Moto2 race winner in Aragon. Fabio Quartararo is, of course, present after his 2nd place finish in Misano last week. And to add a little bit more Spanish spice into the press conference here, Moto2 World Championship leader Alex Marquez joins us. Amy Dargan is here to ask the MotoGP fan questions a little bit later on. I'm going to start with something not racing related, though. Mark and Alex, you're both trying to catch your World Championships this year, but you also went for a spot of fishing a couple of days ago. Looked like some good fun. That was quite a big fish as well. So tell us about your day. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, first time fishing. not the best way. I mean, we hope to fish something better on Sunday, but yeah, I mean, it was a nice experience, a nice event organized by Dorna, and yeah, we just in a relaxed way we try to disconnect before Aragon GP.
Yeah, for me also was a nice experience, first time fishing. So yeah, it was funny, really funny staying there with Marco and all the Dorna people. So yeah, it was funny and nice experience.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll start now then about the racing in general. Mark, wild celebrations last week for you in Misano, a race win that really meant something to you. Now you're coming into your 200th Grand Prix, which is barely believable, really. You're now 93 points up as well. Home race. There's only one stat missing, really, from your illustrious record, and that's winning all 4 Spanish rounds in a single season. So I'm sure you'd like to maybe kick that off with a good result this weekend.
Yeah, of course. Main target this weekend is try to be on the top of the podium, but or be on the podium. This is the main target. Then we will try to fight for the top of the podium, obviously. And yeah, last weekend was very hard for us during all weekend, but in the end we did it. We finished in the top, and we take 25 points in the championship, and another we increase a lot the gap between me and Dobby, and yeah, now it's time to enjoy it, every race, and why not try to enjoy here in Aragon home GP. Layout that I like it. This doesn't mean that it will be a nice and easy weekend. It will be tough because everybody is riding very fast, but we will try to do our 100%.
Given that you normally go all out, you're 93 points up, Mark, with 6 races to go. Technically speaking, you could finish 6th in every race and still be world champion, but Marc Marquez doesn't finish 6th very often. And so could you effectively not be calm, not just pick up the points and just go for broke in every race now?
No, I mean, the target is the same like in the first race in the season. I mean, try to be on the podium from here until the end of the season. This will be a nice target, but this was the target in the first race. So we will continue with the same mentality, try to approach the race weekends in a good way, try to give our 100% on the practice, in the race, and yeah, doesn't matter who will be there, doesn't matter which circuit, but our target will be try to fight for the victory.
Thanks very much, Mark. We now move on to Andrea Dovizioso. Andrea, 6th place back in Misano, perhaps not the result that you would have wanted, but all things considered, looking at things from the whole weekend, perhaps the best result you could have achieved given the speed of Mark and the Yamahas. Is it a result that's difficult to accept coming into this one in Aragon, and how do you think your chances will be here in Spain?
Yes, for sure, it's a bit difficult, but after the test we knew it was impossible to really fight for the victory and the podium like the year before. And but we were focused on what we can do, and practice by practice we improved the situation, and we did the second row. At the end, unfortunately, I'm not happy about the 6 because I was able, with my speed, to fight for the 4th, and was really the maximum. But at the end, everybody struggling with the front, and nobody were able to try to break 1 meter later because everybody locked the front. But apart of that, the gap from Marc and Quartararo was big, so we can be happy about that. But we found a strange condition in Misano compared to last year, and we suffer a lot. Here in Aragon, I think it's not the best track for us, but last year we did a really good battle with Marc and the Suzuki, so I think we can be more competitive than last year, than Misano. We want to come back on the podium, but we know how tough it is. The competitor becomes stronger and stronger. Also the Yamaha riders in the last few races, and especially in Misano, they really did, they were fast. So like always, we will be a big group, and we have to work in a right way like in Misano.
Obviously, second place in the championship now is the new target. Marc seems like he's a bit too far away, but is there also now, from here until the end of the season, some homework being done ready for next year so that you can perhaps start from a better platform?
Yes, for sure, but not from this race. I think this mentality started already some race ago because, yes, we had some bad luck in some race, and it wasn't our fault, but at the end, every race, Marc fight for the victory. And he's the only rider be able to do that. So if we want to fight for the championship, we have to do something more than what we did. That is clear. So we have to improve our situation for sure. The second position on the championship is very, very important, and we will try until at the end. But we know Yamaha, but especially Alex, can be really strong until at the end of the season. So we have to be careful about that, make points, and working for the future is the best things we can do. And this is the mentality.
Thank you very much, Andrea. We now move to Alex Rins and Suzuki. As Dovi just said, Marc is there every single week. And after Silverstone, I'm sure you were hoping that Misano would be a great weekend for you. But it looked like generally over the weekend you lacked a bit of speed, and then Sunday turned into a bit of a nightmare. So tell us about how the Grand Prix was for you.
Well, the Grand Prix in Misano for me was a little bit difficult. Comparing last year, the tarmac changes a lot, no? And I think everybody complained about that. But anyway, I struggled a lot to overtake Paul during all the race, and then finally when I overtook him, I did a small mistake, and I fall down. It was completely my fault. But anyway, we are ready to fight again here. This is, can I say, my home GP. So I will try to give my maximum to do the best.
You must be quite optimistic coming into this weekend because you were both strong last year, particularly Andrea Iannone, but you've grown a lot since then. So you must be fancying your chances of being able to fight for victory here.
For sure, every time we go on track, I try to give my maximum. I try to put my Suzuki on the top. And as you said, last year we did a fantastic race, all the race till 2-3 laps to the end, with the front group, fighting with Andrea, with Dovi, with Marc. So I will try this year to improve this result. As Dovi said, will be difficult because year by year everybody is getting closer, or all the manufacturers, all the riders, like here Fabio, no? He's super fast. So for sure we will try to finish on the top.
Thank you very much, Alex. We now move on to Maverick Viñales. Maverick, as we said back in Misano, a good little run for you at the moment with your recent podiums. You must be quite curious coming into Aragon to see how the Yamaha has adapted since the last time we came here. Of course, last year was not so good for the Yamahas, but the bike looks like it's in a much better position this year.
Yes, for sure. Misano was a really good race for us. despite 2 or 3 laps, then we were into the rhythm, really good rhythm, recovering something at the end. So for us means a lot, means that the bike is improving. We are improving on the bike, so we're going to try to keep the momentum. Aragon is a good track for me. I really like. Some years ago, I always fight for the victory or for the podium, so it's a track where I can give my maximum, and for sure I will do this time.
Just a quick question for you on Fabio, of course. Yes. Since Fabio's come into Yamaha, he's been doing some great things. Of course, you must have looked at his data, but is it actually possible to really do a lot that he does? Because you seem to have completely different riding styles. And what is it that he is doing that has particularly impressed you that perhaps you can't do on the bike?
Normally, I don't know, there is like maybe corner 8, 9, he's faster. I'm faster in 11, 12. So it's like this, you know, we are battling always 10s by 10s, and that's very nice because motivate us to go faster and to bring the Yamaha at the top. So every time we fight, you know, to be a bit faster together, we increase the level and we reach, you know, this Silverstone and now here in Misano to be able to fight for the win.
Thank you very much, Maverick. We'll now go over to Fabio Quartararo. Fabio, probably the best race of the season for you. Last time out, of course, you were robbed of victory in the end by Marc, but I'm sure you've watched it back and you enjoyed it, and you must be looking forward to this, a circuit that you know very well. You raced here from being a child as well, so what are your thoughts coming into Aragon?
Well, for sure Misano have been the best race so far during all my career. And yes, coming into this race is a track that we saw that the Yamaha on the past, like say Maverick in 2017, I think he make pole position. Also Valentino was on the front row. So yeah, looks like the bike is going well. It's a track that I like. So like always, we will give our 100%. And yes, I hope to fight in a good position.
If the season were to end tomorrow, 4 podiums so far in MotoGP this year, have you almost exceeded your own expectations, or is this something that at the start of the year you truly believed would happen?
Well, from the beginning of the year, the goal was to be rookie of the year because, you know, last year was not an easy year for us, and even on the Sepang test, I think Bagnaia was second. He was more than 1 second faster than us, and we stay calm. We work step by step with the team, and finally we arrived in Qatar, and we were ready. And from there, we make every time step by step improving, learning from the top riders. And yes, I never expect to already make pole position, front rows, and 4 podiums. So yes, now I want to keep going on podiums, but we need to stay calm because we are rookies, and every time we are going to a track is new for us. So I'm keep working and keep learning every time.
Thank you very much, Fabio. Finally, we go over to Moto2 and Alex Marquez. Alex, a third last time out in Misano. All things considered, a good result because you've mentioned before it's not your favourite circuit. You obviously have a championship lead to defend, so you must be quite satisfied with that result.
Yeah, quite satisfied, you know. It's true that after practice, I expect to finish a little bit more closer, but we was not so far, you know. In the Sector 1, I was suffering a lot, and during the race, it was not easy. But anyway, we know a little bit our problems now. Coming races that maybe can be a little bit better, but my target is to be in every condition, in every lap, stronger and stronger, try to improve some points, but you know, we have still a good gap from the second one. We need to push. I know that this will be long, but if we want to win this championship, we need to go race by race and try to get the maximum points that we can in every race.
Looking at the championship, it's gone up and down for everybody, really. At the start of the year, Tom Luthi and Baldassari looked like they were going to be the guys to fight you for the championship. Are you surprised that it looks like Augusto Fernandez is the latest rider to bring the fight to you?
Well, I already expected. From the beginning of the year, he was really strong. He had some problem after Argentina that he had some injury. But I mean, I only focus on me and try to improve my TEF points. So I know what I need to improve. I know that this will be long and 6 races to go. It can be a lot of changes in the championship. Like you say, it's a lot of up and down from everybody. So I'm happy because from Argentina we are battling for the podium in every race, and this consistency can give to us the podium. So we need to keep the level like this, try to be strong in every condition, and we'll see. But the season have been really, really good, and now we need to keep pushing like this.
Alex, thank you very much. That's all from me. Ladies and gentlemen, floor questions, please.
Can you give yours to Tomas?
Question to Mark. Looking at your statistics after, just before 200 Grand Prix, can one of your success parts come from the fact that you get addicted to the feeling of pushing your bike at the limit and the extraordinary sensations it brings?
Of course, my riding style and my mentality always is try to push the bike, try to find the limit, and yeah, maybe sometimes this mentality makes like lose on the statistics, because also when I was younger I crashed many times, and maybe it was one of the reasons that I lost the championship 2011 and 15. But yeah, part of this. Happy about how it's going my career, and but I don't like to check the statistics. Just continue, keep pushing, and enjoying every weekend.
Yeah, hi. Just a question for Maverick and Andrea, as the only two riders to have changed bikes in MotoGP class. You have some sympathy for Johan Zarco. Also, does it show actually how difficult it is maybe to change motorcycle at this level of the competition?
You know, every time I think the story is different. Because if I speak about my career, I changed 3 manufacturers, and every manufacturer have a completely different characteristic. But every rider's approach everything in a different way. I think you need a completely open mind, and when I switched from Honda to Yamaha, I did a lot of good races. It's really important when you change the bike, the level of the bike. In that moment, the bike was really stable, not the fastest, not the best bike, but really consistent. So I adapt very fast, and I was able to be the fastest, or one of the fastest, with the same manufacturer. So that was always my goal when I was in Yamaha, when I changed again in Ducati. But every time the story is different, so I can't know exactly the details from KTM, and especially I believe the switch from Yamaha and KTM is huge. So it's normal, this can happen, but it's quite unusual and strange to see that struggle. I mean, it's struggling too much, and he wasn't able to improve the situation. That is the negative things, but for sure there is a reason. They know the reason, and from outside it's very difficult to analyze and say something about that. I think Zarco is a big talent. He showed last year with Yamaha. He was so fast, and he rode in a completely different way than the factory riders, and sometimes was a bit faster. So for sure he have talent, but you know, when the feeling going down, it's difficult to come back. And the reason why they stop, I don't know. I mean, the details, and I can say nothing about that.
Not much to say. Andrea said very clear. Finally, it's very difficult to make an opinion from the outside. You have to be on the situation, Zarco's mind, KTM mind, but it's very difficult to make an opinion. But as Andrea said, it's two different bikes from Yamaha to KTM, so maybe he didn't be at his best, and it's very difficult, as I said, to make an opinion, honestly. It's hard to see that one rider can switch in the middle of the season, because it's always very difficult then to find another seat. So I wish the best for Zarco and for KTM for sure.
I have one question for Mark and Alex Marquez. I wanted to know what do you think about the last lap in Moto2 in Misano, if it was correct to not penalize Fernandez? Your opinion.
Well, of course, in the end, it's a decision of a race stewards, but I think it's one of the main things we will speak about in the safety commission about it. Why? Because in the end, of course, the green part is something that is out of the limits of the track. But the way that, for example, in this time Fernandez, but it doesn't matter the rider use. I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair because he used a lot exit of turn 6 when remain 2 laps. Then it means that you gain also a little bit, and it's the last 2 laps, last 3 laps that the front guy is pushing. Then if you keep these jokers or these, for the end of the race, it's not fair to use in the end of the race. And then, of course, the overtake on turn 14 start in the fast corner on turn 11. And this is, when you are riding in Misano, is very easy to understand. And one thing that I was before the race, during the race in Moto2, I was speaking with Alberto and Santi, and I was saying, because I already predict that will be a fight against Viñales or Quartararo, and I say they are very fast in turn 11. What happens if in the last lap I use the green and I attack the last break point, and they say it's not fair, they will penalize you. But then somebody did in Moto2, and they didn't penalize, but for me, some window that if you open this window, will be a lot of different things in the future. So we need to penalize this kind of actions because in the last lap is not no mean and not fair.
Not a lot more for me, you know. Only thing that now they can put some rule that they can say, okay, in the last lap you cannot use, but will be not fair because if one rider make it, now everybody from here to the end, I think have the opportunity only to use, also to use it, you know. So I don't know. They have I think now a difficult situation. We saw it that Laporte and many riders they was penalized in the last lap. Different situation for sure, but they need to say to us what is the clear rule. Only this, that now if they make a rule, will not be fair for the other riders.
A question for Mark. Mark, after the race last weekend, you said about the Honda, you and Cal and Jorge and also Taka, you have similar comments about the problems with the bike. Cal just said that you guys had a first taste of the 2020 bike, and he says it doesn't really feel much different at the moment. Obviously, his problem is the turning of the bike. Would that, for you, also be the most important thing to change in 2020?
Yeah, of course, one of the things still we need to understand why we have so much problems with the front tire. We improved this season a little bit, but not enough. Why? Because still, if you check the statistics or the ranking of crashes, of course I crash at the moment much less than last year, but all the Hondas we are there in front. So this is something that we try to improve, and especially the bike is incredible. Is demanding a lot about physical condition, and to be fast in one lap is not I mean, it's difficult, but it's not the most difficult thing, but to be fast during all the laps is the most difficult thing. So it's there where we are working. Proto of 2020 was too new to say any comments, so I would like to prefer. But I believe in Honda, and we are going in a good way to make an easier bike for everybody, but to have an easier bike, the consequence will be even more consistent.
Question to Mark. The weather forecast announced on Sunday possible rains. Do it change your approach to the race? Maybe riding in a more conservative style?
No, because of course the first target is finish the race, but in the end now we have a big advantage. So in case that something happen. But of course, the first target for me is finish the race. This is doesn't matter if it's the championship there or no. But yeah, just we'll change the approach. For example, on Friday, that in the end of FP2 we need to put a new tire because to be in QP2. But during all weekend we will work in the same way for try to be on the podium on Sunday. Doesn't matter which conditions.
Question for Maverick and for Fabio. For you first, Maverick. We saw that Valentino was testing a lot of new parts in Misano. You had just one quick try, but you wanted to focus on the race weekend. Will you be using the new parts here again? And for Fabio, you've watched back the race at Misano many times. Did you learn anything, and will you do anything different in the last corner if you get if you could do the race again?
Well, actually, I think still we have to get more data. So I need to try the new parts again in FP1 and see how it's working, as I did in Misano. So at the moment, I will continue to use the new parts, trying to understand which is the best for this track. For sure, if we can use it at the maximum, will be an advantage compared what the standard bike we have. But it's very difficult to set up. It's let's say it's a little bit more critical than the standard bike. So it depends the grip, it depends how the weekend it goes. If I enter in the FP1 already fast, I can concentrate more to work on the bike. If not, I have to concentrate on suspension, riding style, so it's a little bit more complicated. But anyway, I will continue trying and seeing if we can gain a little bit more.
Yes, yes, I watched the race, and like I said in Misano, I think to ride with different, let's say, every bike in front is difficult for us. Our strong point is the corner speed, and if I ride behind Mark or let's say Ducati, Suzuki, is different riding style. But I like to make my own, and for me it's more easy to be alone than following someone. And yes, Mark was really strong in the braking of 12 to 13. I was fast in 11, but I was really on the limit on 13. So I tried my best and was second this time. So I hope to have many more fights, and I hope to beat him one time.
Okay, that's it from floor questions. On to Amy with social media.
Our social media question this weekend comes from Maxi Writer on Instagram. It's a question to all riders. Mark, we'll start with you. The question is, if you could do a training session with any other athlete in the world, who would you choose and why?
What do you say?
A training session.
Training. I understand extraining.
Oh, okay, no straining necessary.
Training, okay. Maybe one of the most important guys in Spain is Rafa Nadal, okay. And also the character is pretty similar like me. He looks calm, but then when he's in the match, he celebrates all the points in a good way, because he understands really well when it's important or not. And Rafa Nadal is one of my reference.
So more of a mental training session rather than a physical one?
No, but a physical one means mental, and mental means physical one. I mean, it's everything together, and this is the good way. Find the best compromise, and Rafa Nadal, I think he's doing in the best way about the athletes.
Thanks, Mark. Andrea, we'll come to you next.
Like always, I would like to train with some motocross rider. I'm sorry, I'm always speaking about motocross.
No, you don't have to apologize.
I already know Cairoli, so someone from America in that kind of track. I think some track from the national are incredible. So to go in there and train with, I mean, there is a lot of, but I meet Anderson in Misano. But Ken Rocks, I mean, there is a lot of web, a lot of riders. Can be nice.
You already train with Cairoli sometimes, right?
I raced with Cairoli when I was very young.
And do you still do some sessions with him now? And which tracks?
Not really. It happened, but not really. Not really. The difference is too big.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Alex, we'll come to you next.
Well, for sure I will.
Mic check, 1, 2. There we go.
Well, for sure I would like to do a training session with Tony Bow, the trial one. They're living in Andorra. I like the trial, and I do a lot. So I would like to train with him to learn something because I think what he's doing is unbelievable.
Thanks, Alex. Maverick, we'll come to you.
Yeah, I would like to train with one boxing guy. The name is Canelo Alvarez. They make incredible, like very specific training, and I really like. It's very tough, and you see the physique they have is very strong, and yeah, really very nice. Maybe first punch I got caught, but really very nice.
Thanks, Maverick. Fabio.
Well, it's difficult to say, but I would like to know exactly what make Formula One drivers. So maybe I will say Lewis Hamilton, because for sure it's a different kind of physical condition. So yeah, I will choose Hamilton.
Surely if you finish this season the way you have been continuing the season, then Petronas can hook that up for you?
Yeah, first I would love to try the cars for sure, but yeah, we will try to make something cool with him.
Nice. And Alex, we'll finish with you, please.
I have the Arlene at home, so I don't need to find really much, you know? It's like this, nothing more to say.
If you had to choose a different sport?
Different sport, maybe Usain Bolt, that I saw it, his documentary, and was really nice, how he trained in Jamaica and this, so yeah, I really like it also.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, gentlemen. Good luck this weekend. If I can ask you, please, to stand for the photo. Thank you.